Can I greenlog Bandos in 12 hours? This is a series I'm calling Half Day Hunt. This is going to be reserved to grinds where I don't necessarily need the items but they would be useful, or steps towards greenlogging. For example, the salad blade at CG. I could take it or leave it, but there's a few places where it would be good to have, but I could make do with the tent whip. I'm starting with 823 KC and this is what my collection log looks like. So far I've been pretty spooned here, I'm just missing the tassets. I don't really need them for an upgrade since I got overplate legs last week, but I will need to get either the tassets or another BCP for Torva upgrades for when I start my next grinds. It would also be nice to get this greenlogged. You already know the big drop I'm looking for, the tassets, but I'm also looking for God Sword 3 shards. I've got 2 shards and I need 5 for when I eventually get all the hilts. Other notable drops would be Snapdragon Herb, Snapdragon Seeds, and just potion drops to extend the trips. This is the gear I'll be using. I'll be wearing the Zami Cape and the Bandos Blessing for god protection. Depending on your agility level, you might need 1 or 2 stamina pots if you're planning on doing the Door Altar method. I've got a mage switch to cast Blood Barrage in between kills, which should keep me healed up for the most part. The brews are mostly a precaution just in case I take too much damage while running. Just drinking a brew won't break me out of the cycle. I'm not going to be using the Boffer for the whole time though. I saw a video by TSN OSRS testing the staff and the gauntlets at Bandos, and it looks like it done well against him, so I figured since I got both of them recently from the Doom farming video, I'll give it a try. I'm only going to be using the mage setup for the last hour since I don't have max gear, and I have a feeling my gear might not be good enough for it to be worth it. Depending on the damage, I might also just scrap it altogether to be honest, but we will see. The way I get there is by using a scroll of redirection on 2 house tabs and turn them into Trollheim tellies. I then revert the remaining one after teleporting. You could also use Gomel's Hilt if you have it. If you're planning on camping at God Wars anytime soon, you should build the Firepit. This way you can avoid getting stat drained and taking damage from the cold. I'll put the requirements for it on screen. Also, if you're under 65 construction, bring a restore. You don't want to get there and be too underleveled to build it. I'll get a hammer from the goblins and eat the angler at the end of getting the KCs. Before we go in, go to the Tile Indicators plugin. If you don't have it, install it. Turn on the Highlight True tile. This will make learning this method a lot easier. And secondly, import these tiles. I'll leave them in the description. Once you've copied them, right click the world map in the top right and select Import. Those are the main plugins you'll need, but I would also recommend better God Wars overlay. You can hide other KCs and just have Bandos displayed. This method is for 4-tick weapons only, so no twisted bow and no blowpipe while running. I guess you could use the Hunter's Crossbow or the Carol's Crossbow, but I'm not too sure how effective that would be here. If you're an Iron Man, you can find out if your room is free by checking this brazier. If it's lit, then you gotta hop. So I start by sipping a range pot and praying melee. I go in, I hit Bandos once and run straight to the altar square. The rule is when you're running towards the door side, you hit the boss on every green tile, and when you're running towards the altar, you click on every red tile. You wait for him to hit you, and then you click on the door straight away. This will immediately put you in the cycle and he won't be able to hit you. You can send another hit before he gets to you, but I would say just focus on clicking the door and getting the cycle first. And then once you're more comfortable with it, then you can start getting extra DPS in. As soon as your true tile is on the green square, you click on the boss again and then run to the next green tile. Since the tiles are an even amount of squares away, you can click ahead of them and always path onto the correct tile. But as soon as your true tile is on the marked square, you have to hit the boss and run to the next tile. And again, as soon as your true tile hits the mark, you click the boss, and as soon as you shoot, you click the altar. Now, you just repeat the same thing but shooting on every red tile. Wait for the true tile to hit the red, shoot, then move to the next. Going back north, I prefer to click on the altar every time. You don't need to, it doesn't change the cycle at all, it just helps me minimise misclicking. I'm going to show an example of what to do when you make a mistake, or when to heal if you're taking too much damage from minions. If you find yourself clicking the door or altar too late, or clicking the boss too early, or in this example both, all you need to do is run to the opposite side of where you are, pray melee, eat up and wait for the boss to hit you, then click on the door or altar depending on what side you're resetting from, and you're back in the cycle. In terms of healing without breaking the cycle, you can sip a brew going towards any tile, but on the flip side of that, you can't sip whilst going away from the end tiles. Healing while going underneath the boss will interrupt the stall and Bandos will be able to smack ya. I'll show healing between tiles in its entirety. I couldn't bring myself to use any useful potions for this example, so just pretend that the mage pots are bruised. For dealing with the minions at the end, I target the mage minion first and then flick between the mage and the range. You don't need to flick, but it might save you a sip or two. Once the mage is dead, pray range and stack the last minions. I like to freeze them and step to the side to avoid any extra damage, but you can still get enough heals by just tanking both. Once you're done with that, gear back up into your range gear and go to the end red tile. Wait for Bandos to respawn, pray melee, let him hit you, click the altar, and you're good to go. You're straight back in. I'm going to show an example kill just in case anyone needs the visual of the entire kill, and then we can get to the 12-hour loot. And if you were just here for the guide, thank you for watching. If you could leave a like or some feedback, good or bad, in the comments, I'd really appreciate it. You've got to be kidding me. I got my first Bandos hilt around 815 KC. 20 kills later and I get another. Straight into the death coffer, I guess. And that's one event finished. I've done 41 kills total this run. I took a bunch of damage in the beginning trying to get used to it again, but once you get the rhythm it's pretty chill. 254k coins and a Bandos hilt so far. I'm going to go bank and then get back to it. I'm just not going to comment on that. And that's the half-day hunt finished. Before we get to the loot, I did try the mage setup and this was the result. Honestly, the damage wasn't too bad with my gear, but it definitely doesn't compare to the Door Altar running. So I just decided to go back to Bofa. Right, let's have a look at the loot tracker. 38.8mm made, about 31mm of that was the Bandos Hills. The rest of the loot isn't great. The elite clues are 1 in 237 with the elite combat stun, so it's about on drop rate, but still a bit disappointing. In terms of supplies, I used 33 brews, 67 restalls, and 20 range pots. This is about 1.6mm worth of supplies. On top of that, I also used 10,500 deaths, a little under 10k bloods, 2,300 souls, and 2,000 waters. This comes to about 4.2mm in runes. The total cost would be 5.8mm, making the total profit for this grind 33mm. For the XP, I gained 600k ranged, 312k magic, and 300k HP. And that's everything. If you liked or got something out of the video, feel free to drop a like, and all feedback in the comments is welcome and appreciated. Thanks for watching. See ya.